What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about the 990s and their sizing and comfort. So I have every single 990 but the version 1. So in this video we're just not going to talk about the V1. So if you know me, you know you've seen my other videos. I love 990s. It's basically the only shoe I wear, and I always talk so highly about how comfortable they are. So in this video I kind of just want to talk about like how they fit and like give them a rating on how comfortable they actually are, so you guys know. It's like, hey, maybe I want this shoe, but I don't know how it feels. This is like your little size guide and comfort guide to the 990. The first shoe we're going to talk about is the 990 V2. Now, I don't have any core colorways in the V2. All I have is this Salehi Bembury Sand Be the Time. Now, looks wise on the V2, I am not the biggest fan. I think the V2 is very simple. It's very bland. It's probably my least favorite 990, but still, this colorway on this is absolutely stunning. I love the hairy suede all around, the purple, the pink, the orange. This is a very good shoe. But for comfort, it's a comfortable shoe. So for the 990 V2, it's not like, oh my gosh, it's gonna blow your mind. It's a comfortable all day shoe. So during the 990 V2, they haven't designed the end cap yet. It was still called Absorb. So this has Absorb technology. So it is a very firm, stiff heel. It's very stable, but in the toe it's a little more, a little soft, a little more less firm. So you kind of get a nice little transfer to your foot because you can squeeze the heel and it's very stiff, but if you squeeze up here, it's nice and soft. So the 990 V2, it's a very comfortable shoe, but it's not out of this world, right? It's just, okay, yeah, I can wear this all day and be fine. It's not going to blow your mind, and I'm not going to say this is the most comfortable shoe in the world. Now for comfort on the V2, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I mean, 7 out of 10 is still very good for a shoe, but it's just not like, oh my gosh, it's not 10 out of 10. It's just like, it's a pretty comfortable shoe. Like, yeah, I'm vibing with this. Like, this is a good fitting shoe. So 7 out of 10 for the 990 V2. For sizing, for the 990 V2, I would go true to size. So I wear a size 10, men's size 10, so I get this in a men's size 10. It fits perfectly. There's a little room, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I need a size up or size down. So I would say for the V2, you could go true to size. Alright, the next shoe we're going to be talking about is the 990 V3. Now, the 990 V3 is one of my absolute favorite 990s, as looks-wise and comfort. So, for the 990 V3, they introduced the end cap technology. This is the first 990 to have it, because the V2 and the V1 had Absorb. So, looking at this, it's different looking than the V2. I mean, it's got this bigger heel on the inside, and I would say the best thing about the 990 V3 is the heel to toe transfer. So as you're walking, you have this nice stiff heel with this end cap where you feel like you're not going to roll your ankle. You're going to be in a very comfortable standstill position, and then once you walk, that it so seamlessly transitions into a very nice softer midfoot in the toe box. And I think the V3 does that the best, because I hate when I have a shoe that's so squishy all around. It's just like a pillow all around. That's why the 990 V3 is so good, because, or even just the 990 in general, most of them have this. You have this stiff heel, and it transfers into that soft toe. And I mean, I think that's why so many it's like considered an old person shoes, because it's nice and firm but also soft. So I mean, people aren't gonna like fall over, I guess. I don't know. But the V3 is very comfortable. It has probably the smoothest heel to toe transfer. And for comfort, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I know it's very high, but I think the V3 is a 9 out of 10. For sizing on the V3, I would go true to size or a half size down. You can get away with true to size. I always go true to size just because I'm scared that it's going to be too small, and I'd rather have it be a little bit big than a little bit small. So you can go a half size down for sure, because the 990 is a very long shoe. So you can easily get away with going a half size down. If you want it to be a little more snug, by all means go for that. It's up to you. But I would say true to size or half size down for the V3. Next up, we got my personal favorite 990 of all time. Probably my favorite shoe of all time. the 990 V4. Now, I've spoken about in a lot of videos how much I love the V4 and why I think it's so amazing. Not only because it looks so absolutely perfect, but it's also one of the most comfortable shoes on the planet. So the V3 looks very similar to the V4, except the V4 I feel like is a little more smooth. It's not as edgy, and it's very smooth, and I love the way it looks. In this gray Castle Rock colorway, this is the best shoe of all time. But besides that, so comfort on the V4, it's very similar to the V3, except I feel like the V3 has a better heel to toe transfer, but the V4 is also very, very similar. For sizing on the V4, I would go true to size or a half size down. Like I said, I always go true to size, but half size down, you can't go wrong. It gets a little, it could get a, I would always try the shoe on first. If you have the opportunity to try it on, try it on. So go a half size down or stay true to size. It's totally up to you, but you can't go wrong with either. V4 is a little more firm compared to the V3, so I would say either one is going to be just as comfortable, I think, but I would say the V4 is a little bit less comfortable than the V3, but you're still going to get one of the most comfortable shoes of all time in this shoe. And now, for 990s, what makes them so comfortable is that stiff heel and that soft toe box, and the more you wear them, the more it breaks in, the more smooth it gets. It's a shoe that you're going to put on time and time again, and it's never going to lose its comfort. Like Boost will bottom out, like Adidas Boost bottoms out, other shoes bottom out. The 990 will never bottom out. It's always going to be so comfortable. Like I have a pair of V5s that I've had for 2.5 years, and they are still like, oh my gosh, they get more comfortable. It never loses its shape. It stays true to it, and it's just a very outstanding shoe. For the comfort on the V4, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Just because it's not as smooth as the V3. But still, 8 out of 10 for a shoe like this, you can't go wrong. My personal favorite, I'm taking this over any shoe of all time. Period. Alright, so next up we got my first 990, the 990 V5. Now, the V5 is a very, very beautiful looking shoe. It looks like the V4, but they kind of added like a little bit of plastic here, so they are similar, but they also very different. Now, the V5 is not my most comfortable shoe. I would say the 3, the 4, and then the 5 so far, right? What makes the V5 a little more comfortable than the V4, or just like kind of adds, is this nice thick plush tongue. So you get this very thick plush tongue that fits nice on your foot. It's very, very nice. You get a little more thicker mesh. You got this stability plastic on the side. But the V5, the heel is super, super stiff, right? So you feel like your heel is planted. Like you could squat in this shoe. This is a very stiff shoe. And then you get this nice soft midsole that also has it's very similar to the V4. It's very soft transfer. But what makes this a little bit more comfortable, it has an Ortholite insole. It's ultra soft. So the more you wear it, the softer it's going to get, the more comfortable it's going to get. So the V5, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 as well, but it's a little bit more comfortable than the V4 just because they threw in that insole, and the heel is super stiff, and once you break it in, it gets a lot more comfortable. So for the V5, I'm going to say go true to size on this. I went true to size, and it fits perfectly. So I would say go true to size on the V5. Last but not least, we got the 990 V6. And in my last video on the V4 and the V6 comparison, I said this was the most comfortable shoe of all time, and I still stand by that. I think the V6, out of any shoe in the entire world, is the most comfortable shoe ever. And I say that because, I mean, look how thick and chunky that midsole is. You got that huge heel. You have a little bit of end cap, but it's nothing like the V5, the V4, or the V3. It's nothing like it. It's a little firm, but you've got this super squishy heel in the back too, that it's just like the smoothest shoe you're ever going to put on. It's the perfect ride. You could run in it, you could walk in it. If I'm picking a shoe to wear for a long period of time, I'm picking the V6. I think the V6 is 10 out of 10 comfortability. It is absolutely perfect. You can't get a more comfortable shoe. So with that being said, I mean, it's got that nice mesh upper like the 990. It's a very different vibe, I would say. It's a more corrective shoe. It's a more comfortable shoe. So I would say this is the most comfortable shoe of all time. If you're looking for comfort, like extraordinary comfort, get the V6. They're different. The 990 V3s and all of them, they're comfortable, very very comfortable, but it's like a different form of comfort on the V6. So I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 on comfortability, and there's nothing else to it. Sizing, I'm gonna say go half size down for sure on these. I have 3 pairs of V6s. I all went true to size, and it's fine, but I could very much so get a half size down, and the next one I buy, I definitely will. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think is the best 990 or the most comfortable 990. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and more videos to come.